Female wrestling has always been an enigma to the industry. Females have sometimes been used as a toilet break or as a time waste. That's why not many companies have more than one female match on a show. As a female who has been involved in the industry for almost 4 years, I've only known one company that is purely female based. This documentary will show both male and female views on the more feminine side of the industry. Male wrestlers all have slightly different opinions about female wrestling and the effect it has on the industry.
Yeah, hi, my name's Mark Starr.
Angie.
I'm the Persian heavyweight champion, Mustafa Khan. I'm one half of Persian Hell.
I am Joe Nelson.
I'm Jonathan Sedgwick.
And I am Carl Widonovich, and we are the UK Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
I asked 6 men between the age of 10 and 45 what their opinions were on female wrestling.
I think that female wrestling is quite important, but yeah, it's got a certain... People think that it's all about being sexy and stuff like that, and I think female wrestling is very underrated, and it shouldn't be pursued as that. I think girls should be just as welcome to have 5-star matches just as well as the guys, and I don't think they get the chance to pursue what they try to do.
I think it's good. I enjoy it, especially British wrestling, British female wrestling.
Female wrestling, I think the demand's there, and I think is a lot harder for the females because they've got a lot more pressure to kind of prove themselves, the wrestling skills, the promo work, and also that they can handle the pain and the stamina and everything that goes with it, because wrestling is one of those activities where, you know, you come out of it and you are bruised up, you are hurt.
It's definitely kind of changed the way some wrestlers look at things. You know, when people just say like the female match is just toilet break. It's more of the sharing type of thing, because like you can't just have the male wrestlers without those, because it's more of a need in wrestling than just a want.
Well, female wrestling is just as important as what male wrestling is. The women are just as talented as what the male wrestlers are.
Obviously, coming from a commentator and you know, coming from nothing from the business and watching the matches, even on TV and commentating, I think it is fair, like Jonathan coming out with a really key point there. You know, it is fair that the ladies get the shine as well as the men. So, like I said, UK wrestling is trying to definitely build on the women's wrestling division.
Just as much as the male side as well,
yeah, definitely.
Jonathan Sedgwick is the owner of UKW, which is one of the country's best wrestling promotions and schools. We asked Jonathan for an interview, and he was more than happy to give us his thoughts about and his experiences of the wrestling industry. We asked Jonathan, do you believe that female wrestling is an important aspect of the industry?
Yeah, in a way, it's a very male-oriented industry, and I think that having females involved in it gives people something to look up to. Growing up watching wrestling, my idol was Bret Hart, and I always looked up to everything he did, and I think it's the same like now with female wrestling, because there wasn't female wrestling back then. It was very rare you saw women wrestling. Now having so many women characters, today people watching it gives them something to look up to and something to idolise. So yeah, they're just as important as what male wrestlers are. I obviously grew up watching WWF, and there was 2 or 3 in it that I can remember. There was a couple of managers, and there were only a couple of actual wrestlers. It wasn't like today's scene.
As the owner of a wrestling promotion, what effect do you think females have on the business level?
They bring female wrestlers into the company just to use them because of how they look. I mean, if you look back at the WWE, again, a lot of the female wrestlers they bring them in as models, and then they train them themselves to be wrestlers. We don't book female wrestlers for that reason. I mean, a lot of women wrestlers are as good as, if not better than, a lot of the male wrestlers. Female wrestlers can bring just as much to a wrestling match as what male wrestlers can. So yeah, they're just as important and just as viable as any other male wrestlers.
We then asked Jonathan, do you believe that having females on the card attract a more female-heavy audience?
Not particularly. I mean, you get individual fans that appreciate women's wrestling and watch it for women's wrestling, but I wouldn't think that they'd just turn up for that one particular match. Some maybe, yeah, but we wouldn't see a great difference in audience size because of a particular female wrestler. Or I think people come to watch wrestling as a whole, regardless of whether it's a male or a female wrestler. You generally get the females coming to watch the male wrestlers and the males coming to watch the females. So no, it's not a female-heavy audience for a female wrestler.
To me, as a trainee here, I know about UK women's wrestling. How successful do you think that was and still is?
UK women's wrestling never really took off the way it was intended to, I suppose. We ended up concentrating more on UK wrestling and just bringing the female matches to UK wrestling. I mean, UK women's wrestling is still sort of an active promotion, if you like. We just haven't done much with it recently. We started focusing more on the British bombshells. We started working on different promotions around the country, just take them to different companies and showcase the best British female talent, sort of thing. So yeah, UK women's wrestling was successful, sort of thing. It still gets, we've got obviously all the social media for it, you still get lots of interactivity online and whatnot. We're still promoting UK women's wrestling when we have female matches in UK wrestling. So yeah, it's still going strong, and we are hoping this year to do more with it, hence bringing more female wrestlers back to UK wrestling at the back end of 2014.
WWE tend to train their female and male talent at NXT separately. Do you think women and men should be trained separately, or do you think it's a good thing for them to be together?
I mean, a lot of female workers, when they come into train, they're not really too bothered whether they train with male or female wrestlers. It's not really a sexist industry. It's more of, if you want to be a wrestler, you'll be a wrestler, regardless of who you work with. I mean, a lot of companies do the intergender matches where you have females working with males. It's just, if they get used to working with them in training, they have no problem working with them on the show. I mean, we've never run any intergender matches ourselves, but there is a lot of companies that do it all over the world. So yeah, if the females are comfortable doing it, then happily let them train with the males.
Well, I think it's quite empowering for some of the young ladies in the audience, like, you know, because the amount of lads that say, oh, I want to be a wrestler when I grow up, yeah. Girls should have that feeling too, you know. They want someone to look up to, you know, they want like a real life Wonder Woman to look up to.
I believe that has a positive impact because it shows that not only can men fight, but women can also fight. And it shows how good the women of Britain are at wrestling.
Positive because like you look at some companies like PWG, they have like Candice LeRae and stuff who can do like amazing stuff, better than probably some of the guys in wrestling. But there's also places like WWE that don't really take it like serious enough. It's more of just put it on before main event and go to the toilet before you see a good match. But like places like TNA, they actually do try to make it good and actually have like, use stuff from it, so it's good.